All right, gang, I'm going to put a video link in the description box below to a video that I'm going to talk to you about for just a couple of minutes here. You can either go click that link and watch the video now, or you can watch it after this video. It's a reference to an interview that I did yesterday. I'm going to just talk real quickly about the interview. Some people may not know why I did the interview or why I even posted it, and I'm going to just hopefully I can bring some clarity to that video. So either go watch it, or if you want to watch it after this, please go watch it so you'll understand what I'm talking about if you have not seen that interview. If you have, hopefully this will bring some clarity to it. But yesterday in Hemet, I drove out there to do a First Amendment audit. That's all I was going to do. I was going to go out there. I was going to do a First Amendment audit of the San Jacinto Hemet Courthouse, which is, well, it's the Riverside County Superior Court in San Jacinto and Hemet. So I went out there to do a First Amendment audit. That's all I was going to do. As I drove up, I saw the guy out there with all his signs, and he was on the corner. I thought, wow, they're protesting something. But I didn't give it a second thought. And I went and I started doing my audit. His friend came up to me and kept urging me. He said, he wants to talk to you. Can we say a couple of things? And I told him, yeah, well, I'm doing something here. I'm doing a story, and then I'll come over there. But he kept an eye on me, and he kept, anytime I'd get near the corner there, he'd come up to me and say, can we talk to you? Yeah. So finally, okay, I'll go over and talk to them. And I went over to talk to him, and in the video below, you'll see, excuse me, you will see the interview that I did. So I didn't really have prepared questions. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't have time to plan and prepare and research, and it just kind of fell in my lap, that interview. So I thought I'll listen to what he has to say. I let him talk, and while he was talking, a couple of questions came into my mind. And I took him at his word. Excuse me, I have a chest congestion thing. You need to know that. But so going on, so I did the interview and everything. I did make a journalistic mistake. Well, I probably made a few of them, but there was one big one. Was I didn't ask him how to spell his name. I'm pretty good linguistically, so when he said his name was Ramaz-Saldad, linguistically I kind of had an idea of how that's spelled. So I didn't think to ask him, well, how do you spell that? I should have, but I didn't. So there you go. So I get home, and kind of having an idea of his name, I put it in Google. I searched variations of spelling of his name. I put in Ramaz-Saldad Hemet, Ramaz-Saldad U.S. Army, Ramaz-Saldad military, whatever, GS worker, Ramaz-Saldad, all kinds of different variations of Google search I did, and I didn't find any information on him. So in my mind, I'm thinking this is just some poor guy that hasn't made the news yet, and he's on a hunger strike. I did tell him that I would take his interview and present it to different media stations and news outlets. I don't want to be a liar. I mean, I have integrity. So I did do that. On Twitter, I exhausted all the local newspapers, all the local news channels from Los Angeles and I think Riverside, all the different news channels and stations, and just tweeted a link of that video interview to them saying, please pick up this story. It's interesting. Go out and talk to the guy, and I thought they can definitely get more research done than I can, because I'm an amateur citizen journalist, and they do this crap every single day. So, and I do have a credential. I am credentialed as a citizen journalist through a certain press organization. So, but I did that. I did keep my word on that. Now, some people were saying, well, one person gave a racist comment on my video, which I removed. I'm not going to be racist about it. Just because the man's Middle Eastern is no reason to attack his ethnicity or whatever. But some people were saying, well, it's stolen valor. He's saying that he was in the military and he was in a combat zone. He could have been. I do know that in the Middle East, Special Forces, the Navy SEALs, and even the infantry units over there, They do use GS interpreters, and some of them are American citizens that are hired by the Department of Defense to go over as a GS worker, which is a civilian worker, and work with the military interpreting. They'll go to like villages and talk to the farmers who are sick and tired of the fighting back and forth. And they'll talk to them and they'll say, look, you know, these American soldiers can just go through and get out of here if we know the safe route to take. And in that language, Afghanistan, their language there, they may tell that interpreter, well, we saw some people laying cables and wires over here. We don't know what they were doing. We thought they were sheep farmers. They had spools of cable. They may say, oh, there's IEDs probably over there, or landmines. So they will reroute their direction. So yeah, that is plausible that they do have interpreters that do that over in the Middle East. That's not necessarily a lie. That's not necessarily a false story. In that respect, they do have that. Somebody mentioned that there are laws that help parents in child custody cases. Yeah, that was a little suspicious to me as to how a judge could say, just don't worry about ever seeing your girl again. And never arrested, American citizen, military GS, oh not military, but a GS worker background with the Department of Defense, you know, clearance. He would definitely have a secret or top secret clearance in that position. So yeah, that was a little suspicious as to how they would say, well, you're never going to see your daughter again. It has to be some underlying factor there that maybe he did something wrong. I don't know if it was domestic violence or whatever. I don't know. I am suspicious of that. But that's one of my faults, is that I take you at your word until I can prove otherwise. Until I can prove that that's not true, I'm just not going to point at somebody and go, oh, you're a liar. That just doesn't add up. Although there is suspicion there. Like I said, I'm unable to find anything on this man on the internet. And I did try. Man, I spent 2 hours just searching, just typing and searching. So, yeah, there's a suspicion there with me as well on that. But again, like I said, to keep my word, I did tweet the interview to all the different news outlets. But again, I wasn't prepared for that interview because it just kind of fell on me. They just kind of said, hey, can you come talk to this guy real quick? I didn't know he was out there, and I didn't know why. And then I found out. So hopefully that adds a little clarity to all of you. I wasn't trying to be some Walter Cronkite, or if you're in Los Angeles, I wasn't trying to be a Chris Burrows or a Frank Buckley. I was just trying to do a First Amendment audit, and somebody said, hey, can you come talk to this guy? So that's kind of what happened. So be kind, go easy. All right, guys. Got good things coming. Don't go away. Keep subscribed. And hopefully that adds a little bit of a clarity to that interview. News Now Yucaipa. Just trying to keep it real.